Hello everybody and welcome to a quick little video I just wanted to make going over how you can best optimize Kaze's EXP gain in Chapter 5 of Fire Emblem Fates. I'm making this because someone had asked me about it semi-recently because I had mentioned that I really like Kaze in Conquest, and one of the reasons is that he can very easily get a lot of levels during the Branch of Fate chapters. And then he comes back with Conquest with his auto levels on top of that, and is very strong. But I know some people are a little, might not know how to get Kaze quite that high level. So this is going to be a consistent strategy for doing that. You can see here my Kaze is 2 levels over his base. I gave him 2 levels in Chapter 4. But the only thing that this strategy needs to work is he needs to have 1 point of speed over his base. Although note that some things may change a little here and there due to me playing on an average growth patch, so your Kaze stats might not be quite identical to mine throughout the chapter. But this is generally going to be a pretty reliable way, pretty reliable strategy that you might have to adjust slightly based on your Kaze's own stats in order to feed him a lot in this chapter. Doing so requires, obviously, for him to use Rinka's pair-up, and to make very good use of Sakura's personal skill, and positioning him in range of her, and as well as just some good positioning in general. And Korin only gets 2 kills on this map other than the boss. And this is one of the reasons that I am so high on Kaze, is because if you're playing Conquest, he's really the only unit who gets EXP in this chapter. Azura is not a combat unit, Sakura and Rinka don't rejoin in Conquest, and Korin only gets 1 EXP from every enemy aside from the boss. So Kaze is really just the only candidate for EXP on this chapter. Now, my Kaze did dodge there, of course, against those two enemies, but it doesn't matter. He does survive if he gets hit by both. Right now, we want Kaze to enemy phase the 2 mercenaries here approaching from the left. So what he does is he is going to stand in place and kill the Dark Mage, which then allows us to dance him and put him 1 tile up and kill the mercenary, which allows him to enemy phase 1 of the left-hand mercenaries. And if he had gotten hit on that enemy phase, Sakura would have used her action there to heal him. But he did not, so she just waits. So here, Kaze takes 1 kill, of course, and then he unfortunately cannot take the other one, but we do attack anyway, partially because it is chip experience and weapon experience, but more importantly, it fills his guard gauge, which is going to be important for this next enemy phase, and is what will allow him to survive. Korin takes one of his only one of 2 non-boss kills in this clear to grab the HP tonic to carry over into Conquest proper. And again, if Kaze was damaged at all here, Sakura would just heal him again. It is also worth noting that Ryoma does have a slight chance of being able to kill the boss on this map. Unfortunately, if he does, there's nothing you can really do about that. It is just down to RNG. It is quite unlikely, but it can happen, and it's just kind of something you gotta live with. But anyway, something that's very convenient about this map is, despite all these enemies being quite scary to Kaze and to the other units, there are 2 1-tile wide choke points on the bottom left and bottom right corners of the statue here. which means that we can use that in combination with the guard gauge that we built last turn to actually enemy phase all of these guys and survive. In particular, it helps a lot against the mercenaries since they damage Kaze the most, and they will actually go first in the enemy ordering, meaning they are the ones who get blocked. So we see here he's going to do that. Unfortunately, with his current speed, I believe he is one off of doubling the paired mercenaries. But here we have, and again, he doesn't need to dodge any of these. He just happened to dodge a lot this this particular version of the clear, but he does not need to dodge any of these. And he levels again. Unfortunately, does not get the point of speed that he needs to actually double paired mercenaries, but that is fine. Here's where the reinforcements spawn in, and this is where things get a little tricky. We want to be able to end the turn on this one tile wide choke point again. So what we do is we have him back up one space so that he can kill a dark mage without Azura having to move into what would be the range of the remaining dark mage on enemy phase. So he just goes one up, kills this one. As you can see, he does not kill the mercenary still. And goes back down, replugs the point, and goes ahead and kills another one. Unfortunately, the mercenary pair will switch to the healthier one. And this is what's going to cause us to have to use Corrin for the second time against a non-boss enemy. But it's fine, honestly. It's not that much EXP lost in the grand scheme of things. So now we have the reinforcements closing in. And what we're going to do here is, thankfully, Azura does not quite die to any one dark mage attacking without a dual strike. So we can allow her to take a hit here, while also refreshing Kaze and putting him in a better spot for next turn. And also ensuring we can put him in the other one tile wide choke point here on this statue, to ensure that the dark mage attacks Azura, essentially to ensure that he moves consistently, because he can only attack Azura from the one tile, which sets up perfectly for turn 7. This, by the way, part of my motivation here was I didn't want to go super slow. I wanted a relatively good turn count. Not that I usually care much about turn count, but I didn't want this to be slow or intentionally, like, you know, any kind of slog. So we are going to be finishing this in 8 turns. And then, as you can see, Kaze does not quite one round a dark mage who hasn't been debuffed at all or chipped. However, with this kill, he attains C in daggers, which his weapon rank bonuses now start kicking in. He gets +1 might from C rank daggers, which allows him to perfectly one round these dark mages. And at the end of turn 7, he reaches level 9, which will be his final level for the clear, meaning that when he returns in Conquest, he will be a whopping level 15, which is going to be higher than anyone in your army at that point except for Camilla and maybe Corrin or Silas. But yeah, so as you can see, Kaze's stats actually quite impressive for this point, and his auto levels will just make him return with even more. And that is part of why I think so highly of Kaze as a unit in Conquest, because this is a pretty consistent way to feed him all the CXP. There's no reason you'd want to feed it to any of the other units available here, and you just get that for free. So there you go. 8 turn clear of Chapter 5, getting Kaze all the way up to level 9. and routing the map relatively quickly, compared to some other strategies that go a bit slower. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this very much. This was just a short little video that I wanted to do, before some longer, sort of more intensive ones, coming up on the channel. And I hope you all enjoyed this a lot. And I hope, well, I don't hope, I promise that the next, couple of map clear videos on this channel are going to be, a lot more detailed, longer, and about Conquest-specific maps that are, let's just say, a lot more infamous. So, hope you all look forward to that, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.